1 year ago today, on my mother's dying bed at 92 years old, former sharecropper. Her last words were, "Do not let them take our votes away from us." She had fought and seen people harmed, beaten, trying to vote. Talk about inalienable rights. Voting is crucial, and I don't give a damn how you look at it. There are efforts to stop people from voting. That's not right. This is not Russia. This is the United States of America. And I will fight until the death to make sure every citizen, whether they're Green Party, whether they're Freedom Party, whether they're Democrat, whether they're Republican, whoever has that right to vote. Because it is the essence of our democracy. And we can play around and act like it's not. And guess what? I want to be clear that when they look back on this moment 200 years from now, that there are those of us who stood up, and they'll be able to say they stood up and said, we will defend, they defended the right to vote. Because you know what the problem is? For so many people, their rights are pulled away from them, then they got to put in laws to get them back. Pulled away from them. What does that mean? They cannot progress rapidly. They cannot progress with the rest of society. And all they're trying to do is trying to control their own destiny.
That was House Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings at today's hearing on H.R. 1, the first bill taken up by the new Democratic majority Congress. The legislation includes sweeping and sorely needed changes to the electoral process to protect our most fundamental right as Americans, the right to vote. Those changes include a constitutional amendment to end Citizens United, which allows corporations flush with cash to donate to, basically to buy influence with, a political campaign. Disclose dark money donors to political campaigns. Pass the Honest Ads Act, which compels tech companies to disclose the source of the money for political ads on their platforms, requiring candidates for president and vice president to disclose 10 years of tax returns, and that retroactively includes those currently serving, prohibiting purging voters from the rolls, an issue we saw especially this year in midterms, forcing states to adopt independent redistricting commissions to eliminate partisan and racist gerrymanders, automatic voter registration where people have to opt out instead of jumping through hoops to opt in, making Election Day a federal holiday, requiring poll workers give the public a week's notice of any polling location changes, and making colleges a way to register to vote in addition to the DMV, recruiting more poll workers, and finally beefing up election security. Now, that wasn't even everything, but clearly this legislation seems like a common sense fix to a slew of glaringly obvious problems. But Republicans have attacked the measure, which, again, ensures that Americans can exercise their most fundamental right. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell spoke out against the bill on the Senate floor.
H.R. 1. Also known as the Democratic Politician Protection Act. Speaker Pelosi and her colleagues are advertising it as a package of urgent measures to save American democracy. What it really seems to be is a package of urgent measures to rewrite the rules of American politics for the exclusive benefit of the Democratic Party.
McConnell claims that this is for the exclusive benefit of the Democratic Party, but if that's the case, it's only because Democrats are so blatantly excluded from the process. Imagine if this was a soccer game and the Republicans could score in a goal twice the size, and then Democrats propose that both goals become the same size. Then yeah, that proposal would pretty much exclusively benefit the Democrats by making the whole process fair.
Yesterday, I gave a brief tour through several of the most bizarre components of their proposal. Today, I'd like to focus on just one of the legislation's major victims, the American taxpayer.
Right, the victim, the U.S. taxpayer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that McConnell's ability to sanctimoniously grandstand using fiscal responsibility shriveled up and died the day that he ushered a $1.5 trillion tax cut for the super rich through Congress. You know, the one that's currently pushing the U.S. deficit to a record $1 trillion.
But they aren't stopping there, Mr. President. Democrats also want taxpayers on the hook for generous new benefits for federal bureaucrats and government employees. Their bill would make Election Day a new paid holiday for government workers and created an additional brand new paid leave benefit for up to 6 days for any federal bureaucrat who decides they'd like to hang out at the polls during any election.
Right, hanging out at the polls, or, you know, how our founding fathers might refer to it, protecting our most central democratic right in the United States of America, the essence of this country, the right to vote. But sure, hanging out works too.
A power grab that's smelling more and more like exactly what it is.
H.R. 1 is clearly, objectively, a crucial bill at a time when Americans have so little faith in our corrupt election systems. And with 82% of Americans supporting a bill of reforms like this one to end corruption, it's not going to be a good look for Republicans to vote against this measure as we head into 2020. In fact, it's going to look like Republicans are engaged in nothing more than
a power grab that's smelling more and more like exactly what it is.